So this is the installation process of a suspension upgrade that I did a while back, and it took so long for me to edit the video. I was looking to upgrade to YSS front suspensions, and I didn't find too many videos on it except Stuart Fillingham's. So I thought I should also make one of my own, explaining it as best as I can. The OEM suspensions, I found out, frequently bottom out whenever you encounter some road imperfections, and that is quite a lot on Delhi roads. Thankfully, the low price of this motorcycle gives you the option to spend a little extra to make some great improvements. The exterior of front end is of great quality. The internals, not so much. These YSS suspensions gives the motorcycle handling that it needs with enough adjustability that you can also get a good amount of comfort. And that turns a good motorcycle to a great motorcycle. This is not a straight swap. There's a lot more to it. Most notably, a different top cap that are your cartridge emulators, allowing you to adjust the preload. The replacement springs, which are exactly as long as the OEM ones, but not that tightly coiled together, making them stronger in my opinion. A pair of washers and a shorter but very precisely engineered spacer tube. So it is safe to say that none of the original internal parts are retained. This front kit will set you back 23,000 Indian rupees, but I believe it is worth it if you are planning to own the motorcycle for long and are going to be riding it quite a lot. The quality is top-notch. Keep in mind the forks slightly stick out of the yokes. Make a note of that measurement before you start. It is roughly about 12 mm on either side. Loosen the top cap, don't remove them just yet. After that, loosen the pinch bolt at the bottom of the right fork leg. Then, loosen the axle nut. Usually it is recommended to put the bike on a jack, but if you wish to do this yourself, then you may have someone to put weight on the back seat and put some wooden planks under the chassis. Then remove the front brake caliper and the ABS sensor. And now carefully remove the axle and off comes the front wheel. Pro tip would be to tie the brake caliper with some zip ties to the exhaust, as it may get in your way. And on the right hand fork, there is a cable for the speedometer that would need to be removed as well. I was at a workshop that was equipped with all the necessary equipments, and they preferred to remove both forks. But you can do it one at a time also. Keep in mind that I have custom headlight brackets installed, which can be accessed with ease. To loosen the OEM headlight brackets, you would need to remove the bolts which connect the bracket to the headlight, and then loosen the pinch bolts on the back of the brackets. Once you've loosened the pinch bolts and removed a few bolts on the front mudguard, you'll be able to slide the fork off. Have a container handy for the fork oils, and then carefully remove the top cap, followed by the spacer. Then pour out the fork oil. You need to get every drop of the old oil out. In order to do this, you'll need to pump it a few times, which allows the damper rod to expel the oil out. Do it as many times as needed. Once you can't anymore, just leave it upside down for it to drip out. And due to the fact that Royal Enfield uses a very thin oil, it shouldn't take that long. About 10 minutes tops. Now, YSS recommends 15 weight oil, which is what I went with. It is a fully synthetic oil that does not subject to bubbles. This oil has all the properties, from rust inhibitors to friction reducers, along with being a damping fluid, and makes the suspension function very smoothly. Just keep in mind that they only provide one bottle with the kit, and you would need 3 more. 2 bottles in each fork. And going with the 15 weight oil, it does mean that compression rate of springs will slow down, as opposed to a 10 weight oil. I wanted slight performance, so I went with YSS recommendation. If you want more comfort, then go with the 10 weight oil. YSS also recommends 410 milliliters of fluid in each fork. You can measure that amount and pour it in. Once it is full, drop your damping unit, spring up. Next, drop the spring and then drop one of the stainless steel washers that came with the kit on top. Making sure it lands flat on top of the spring. Then put the YSS spacing tube, and before you put the top cap on, you need to make sure that it is fully retracted, as it might cause some spring tension which might make it difficult to put the cap back on. Just use an Allen bolt to do this. This cap has an O-ring sealer and has very long threads, so it won't come off easily. It is of very good quality, but if you use a torque wrench, then you can damage it too. So just screw it tightly by hand until you cannot anymore. And now you can put the forks back on. Putting them back on is the exact opposite of removing it. And then repeat the process on the other side. Remember to keep the 12mm gap on both the forks. And now we have a suspension setup that is adjustable both in the front and at the rear. Granted, it is an expensive investment, but it is only worth it if you're planning to keep the motorcycle for long. I would like to thank Speedmonk's Performance Center for this, as they helped me a lot setting this up. And now it's time to take the bike for a spin. Thank you so much for watching this video and my other videos, and in doing so, helping to support the channel. If you've enjoyed this video, do give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. The next video on suspensions will be about my opinion on them and a sort of a review. I chose not to include it in this one and to make it an installation video only, as it would have turned out to be a very long video. So ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much.